Okay.
Okay, we are recording. So, welcome. So you two probably don't really know each other, but
No.
Tunde and Barb.
Hello.
Barb was one of my classmates in vet school.
Hi.
And Tunde actually is somebody that we just met through Beachbody. She's not technically on our team, but that's okay. We've adopted her in. But she lives here, sort of local to me, kind of. So,
Yeah, kind of. Couple of hours.
is it that long? You're in Sevierville, right? Or no?
Well, I'm in Cosby.
Cosby. Yeah,
I'm in Cosby.
That is
like,
a while.
Right between. Yeah. So,
That's true.
I'm with me, so just.
Yeah. So kind of the point of this call, I know Barb had asked a really good question the other day. What was it? What was it that you said? I can't even remember how you worded it.
Like in regards to this call?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that we needed to do something in the team call about how to talk to potential customers.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just seems like once they start asking me questions and then I start telling them, hey, we're doing this great shake, it's helped me so much. And they're like, well, how much is it? And then you start giving them the prices and they're like, oh, I already belong to a gym or I already have a shake.
And then you're obviously not working because they're asking you. That's the thing.
Exactly. And I don't have those thoughts that pop up like that when I'm talking to somebody.
Yeah. And you'll get there. You will. I promise. So we'll start off with that, with some conversation tips. And then I want to go over these a little bit as well, as far as activities that you guys should be doing. So this is kind of really geared towards newer coaches, right? Or coaches that just need help, like you said, with the conversations, you know? And I will say, when I first started, 4.5 years ago, and I don't say this to sound weird, but it wasn't hard because I think Beachbody wasn't as popular either. Not as many people knew about it. And so people would be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? You know? And you start telling them. And it was
brave and you post a bunch of stuff and I'm like, I don't want to see myself on there.
But you have to. That's the thing. You have to. Or else nobody's going to know what you're doing. And nobody's going to know how much it's benefiting you.
Yeah.
You have to get out of your own head. And think about when you first joined with me. You know?
Yeah.
The only reason you knew what I was doing was because you saw my posts. Right? So, I mean, because we hadn't really talked about it that I remember. I mean, that was a long time ago. But it wasn't like I was like, hey, Barb, come join me in this challenge group. Like randomly, you know? Yeah. So you have to think about that. And you have to post frequently, because here's the thing, the way Facebook is and social media in general, Instagram, whatever, especially Facebook though, if you just post about your workout or eating healthy or a healthy lifestyle every couple of days, nobody's going to see it, you know? Even if you post about, you know, your workout like I do every single day, people get used to seeing that. And if they're bothered by it, fine, unfollow me, block me. I don't care. I really, truly don't care. You know, you obviously, if somebody doesn't like what they see, they're obviously not the type of person that was going to support me and my team and us as a healthy community.
Right.
They're not my people. And I don't care. You know what I mean? And you have to get to that point where that doesn't bother you. And it's hard. But also, once you start helping people and seeing, like, you know, you guys and just all of our team, all of our obsession people, like all of our challengers in general, you see them start posting about how much better they feel. I mean, that is so rewarding. And to me, that means so much more than those couple of people that I may have, you know? Because like I said, they're not my people anyway. And that's just how you have to think about it. So you have to just get out of your head. And I promise, once you start posting stuff too and being more vulnerable, people start supporting you and it gets so much easier. You're like, okay, well, I've done it a couple times now. I didn't die. Like, not that bad. You know? So, yeah.
Hey, can I ask real quickly something before I forget it? Because you always ask any questions and then I don't remember the questions.
Yeah.
But this is my issue. This is my issue. How to find the me people, the people I used to be, and how to convert those people into where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem. So, you know, when you get to that part, just remember that question. I wrote it down, but I don't know if it's going to make sense.
Yeah, no, that does make sense, because part of what we're going to talk about on these tracker sheets is finding people. So I made a little note.
Because I'm obviously finding the wrong people.
The wrong people, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Lately, I've just been finding the people who already wanting to be working out, or they doing the keto diet, or they doing going to the gym, whatever.
Yeah.
But those are the people now that I'm attracting instead of who I need to be working with.
Right. And one thing I will say to that too,
sorry, go ahead,
is, no, you're fine, that's great, is be sure in your posts that you're talking about who you used to be, how you used to feel. You know, really tie, say, your workout today into just relating it to how you were 4 or 5 years ago or before you started Beachbody, you know, and how much of a change it's made. Be sure you're doing a lot of posts like that, because people relate to that versus, I did my workout, I lifted heavier than I did last week. Like, people are like, oh, she works out all the time anyway, that's no big deal, you know? So you really have to relate it to the old you and get people thinking about.
And I'm sort of like the yo-yo dieter with yo-yo coaching. Yeah. I do that for like a week or two. I'm like full power, and then it's like, I'm tired because I just put all my energy into those last 2 weeks. And then I take off like a week because then I'm tired. Well, not take off, but I post differently. And then I'm back on track again. And then I'm off again. And then I'm back on track again. It's like, oh, just stick with it, woman.
Well, that's the thing. And even if you back off a little bit, you can't totally back off. You can't, because people are going to see that, and people have to see you. And I say this all the time, but people are looking for that consistency. And if they see that you're showing up for a couple of weeks and then you're not, they're like, oh, well, she fell off the wagon again, you know, and oh, well, now she's back on. Oh, well, now maybe she's doing something different. Like, they need to see that you are ridiculously consistent. And I know that's what helps me, because they've seen me for almost 5 years now, 4.5 years now, post a workout at least 5 or 6 days a week. They know I'm doing it. Like, they know I'm doing it.
Well, I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that. It's just the way I'm talking about it is different.
You just have to put a little bit of time into it and think about it. I mean, you just do. Like, there's not really a shortcut around that, unfortunately, you know, and you have to always be inviting, you know, even if people are not commenting on those invite posts, you have to put them out there so people can see it, because I can't tell you how many times people don't like or comment or anything on my invite posts. They don't do it, but I'll get messages from people that have been saying, all right, I've been watching you for 6 months now. I've been watching you for a year now. I just saw that you've got a new group starting. I'm ready to give this a try. Like, people will watch you for that long, and they're looking to be sure that you are consistent, not with your own health and fitness, but also with the coaching part. Like, they need to see that consistency, because they don't want to potentially join with somebody that they're not going to, like, are they going to be there next month? You know what I mean? Are they going to be there supporting me? So that's part of it that you have to remember. Even if you're getting 0 engagement on those posts, you've got to put them out there. So does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about let's talk about talking to people first. Well, first I want to say, be sure for you too, I'm pretty sure y'all have done it, but for any other new coaches that watch this recording too, be sure you go through Diesel Nation Academy. First and foremost, it's absolutely a must because it goes over
Done.
so much. Yeah, you did it, Tunde? Yeah. It's dieselnationacademy.com. Let me make sure that's the website before I tell you guys wrong. Let me check it.
I started it.
Yeah. Have to do it. And it's not like all that long. There are a couple videos that are kind of long, but they're really, really good. And they're on like inviting and dieselnation.com. Apparently dieselnation.com is a diesel engine warehouse.
Never mind then.
Yeah. dieselnationacademy.com. Share my screen real quick. Where'd y'all go? Okay. So this is dieselnationacademy.com. When you type it in, it'll kind of whatever you call it. It'll put you to this page. Redirect, I guess is the word I'm looking for. This is Diesel Nation Academy. This is what Christina and Becky did for our team. You register for it. You sign in. I mean, it's a free enroll. And then once you are in, let me see. I have no idea what my password is. This might work. No, didn't work.
Passwords kill me.
I never know them. Yeah, that didn't work either.
I started putting them all in my phone.
Well, yeah, I'm going to have to figure out what the heck my password is. But basically, so I'll stop sharing now since that does me no good. Basically, it walks you, I can't even show it to you right now. It walks you through a whole bunch of training lessons. It makes it super easy. The first part is all kinds of getting started. It talks about connecting with people. It talks about social media, Instagram, Facebook. It talks about inviting people. It talks about, finding your why and why you're doing this and how important that is. And it gives you some really, really good resources to know where to find things. And it gives you some scripts as well as far as talking to people and inviting and that sort of thing. So definitely, first and foremost, go through that. The other thing I'll say, since Instagram has become huge now as far as finding people, and I have not gotten good at it yet, but I'm learning. I'm going through the trainings. And I know so many coaches that's where they're getting like 90-95% of their challengers. And I mean, I'm talking like they're in the SC20s, 30s, 40s. They're getting a lot of people. So it's definitely, I think, something that we need to spend the time to learn and to grow and to build and to figure out. Because the way Facebook is now.
How do you know if those people are in the US? I got so many people on Instagram who's like in Czechoslovakia and all other places, and it's not telling where they're from.
It doesn't tell you unless they tag a location. So yeah, and you can tag a location that you're not in. So you just have to kind of look at their news feed. And for me, what I do, I get a lot of Australian people. I don't know why, which is awesome. I'm really hoping we expand there someday because I've got a whole bunch of followers that are in Australia. But yeah, it's kind of hard. You just have to kind of look through a few of their pictures, see what locations they're tagging, and
Can you tag more than one location?
And if they don't tag anything, it's like.
Yeah, no, you can't tag more than one location. You can only tag one, but it doesn't have to be the same. Like, we can be here in the US and you can tag London, or you can tag Toronto, or it doesn't have to be where you are. And I typically don't tag where I am. I'm weird about putting that out there.
Yeah.
It was fine, but not with Kinsey, so I usually don't tag where I actually live. So
that worries me.
Yeah. But you can still tag all sorts of locations, and it's not like people can actually find you that way.
Mm-hmm.
But that way you're getting interest from that city's little story or whatever, But talking about Instagram, Christina Delgado and Monica Lopez did an amazing 5-day Instagram boot camp. And I think both of you guys were in there. I made a document with all 5 days, the videos from all 5 of the days. Did I put day 3 on there once I found it? I will check.
You did.
Okay, 'cause I know I found the video. I can't remember if I actually put it in there, but I'll check and see.
Put the link.
The link, okay, perfect. Go through those and watch them, and that is on my plan for today because I only got through the first 2 days. But it's really, really good, and people are having a lot of success, and it's kind of going through the basics of setting it up, getting followers, how to figure out what you're talking about, hashtags, how you want your Instagram feed to look, Instagram stories, how to invite, all that kind of stuff. And I think it's really important that we learn that. So those are the first 2 things for every new coach to do: Diesel Nation Academy and go through that Instagram training. I think it's that good and that necessary. And then once you start talking to people, well, do y'all want me to go through conversations first, or do you want me to run through this tracker sheet first? What makes more sense to you?
Conversations.
Conversations first. And Tina says both. I'm going to do both. Oh, about choked on a tomato.
I don't care in order. Just go through it.
Don't die on our calls.
Right? And there's nobody here to give me the Heimlich.
Or otherwise.
Mm.
Kinsey's gonna bounce on you. That's not gonna happen.
Right. Yeah, she's not even here. There's nobody here. Nice. So, having conversations. I think the biggest thing that scares people is that you post on your page, and yeah, you'll get support, you'll get people that like it, whatever. You'll post invites, and you'll typically get nothing, and that's normal, and that's okay. Like I said before, you still have to post the invites. But what people don't do is they don't go and have private conversations and actually start building relationships, talking to people, and inviting people in private messages. And that is where the magic happens. You have to do that. So kind of like I was telling you the other day, Barb, you said, so do I go back and invite these people that, liked that particular post? So right. Yeah, that post and every other post. For me, I make a list of people that like anything remotely related to health and fitness, which is pretty much everything I put on my page, unless it's a Kinsey picture. I mean, that's my life, anything related to my food pictures, meal plans, healthy tips, workout pictures, pictures that I share, from other transformations on the team, anything like wins that other customers are having, if they like that, anything related to health and fitness. I make a list of those people that like or comment on the picture. You're going to have more likes than your comments typically. And go start conversations with those people. Even if it's just telling them, thank you so much for supporting me in this health and fitness journey. It's kind of taken me a little bit to get out of my comfort zone and post stuff like this, but I know the impact that it's had on my life, and I just want to be here to inspire others. You could say something as simple as that to get the conversation started. Not an invite, not a, hey, come join me, not a, what are your goals? Just leave it simple to start the conversation, because you want them to start talking to you. You want to get conversation going back and forth. And then as you kind of get into the conversation a little bit, if they're saying, oh my gosh, yeah, you look like you're just feeling so much better. You're so inspiring, whatever it is that they say back to you, you kind of respond and eventually get it to where you can be like, so do you have any health and fitness goals right now too? What are you working on right now? What is your overall goal right now? Something like that, You want to ask questions though, so that they respond. And just kind of keep the conversation going. If the conversation dies off and you never get the chance to really say, well, we've got this great challenge group starting, or this great, success group or whatever starting in a couple weeks, I would love for you to join me in it, or something that you really might be interested in because of X, Y, and Z goals that you have. Oh gosh, I totally lost my train of thought. If it never gets, that's what I was gonna say. If it never gets to that point in the conversation, I will take that list of people, set them aside for a week or two, and then like leave it. And then once I'm inviting to my next challenge group or my next free group or whatever, I go back to that list of people. Because you talked to them like 2 weeks ago. It's not like it's been 6 years since you talked to them, you know, or 6 months even. You just talked to them and had a conversation. So go back and invite them, you know, go back and say, hey, I know we just chatted, you know, a couple weeks ago and you were so supportive of all my health and fitness posts or whatever, or this journey. You know, I've got a new group starting and I think you'd really be a great fit for it. Are you interested? And I always leave it at, are you interested? Do not tell them details right off the bat because you want to keep it short and sweet. If you're talking and typing for too long, they're like, oh my God, I'm not reading this. This is too much. I'm overwhelmed already. No, I'm not doing it. I don't even know what she's talking about, you know? So nice and short and sweet. And then if they come back and they're like, you know, say they say no. No, I'm not interested right now. Thanks anyway. Okay, cool. You know, you might say, well, I know you had XYZ goal. Do you mind if I just keep you informed of my groups that come up in the next couple of months? And most of the time they're like, yeah, sure. Keep them on your list. Next month when you go to invite people, you invite them again. Maybe it's the right time. You know, it might take 3, 4, 5, 6 invites until they actually join you. So don't be worried about.
Now, do you keep those people on a separate sheet? Because I just keep my people in a monthly sheet, which is whoever I talk with that month. Mm-hmm. And those people who I have conversations and who never gets back with me or the conversation dies out. But do you separate them?
I keep it all on like one big massive spreadsheet. And then I keep, like I do it on the computer. Okay. So I have one column that I can put like the date that I last talked to them. And I can sort it by that, or I can go through and look. And then I'll have another column for like I'll go and say after I've had a conversation with somebody and they said no, but I know I'm going to re-invite them the next month. I have a column that says like next contact, and I'll go ahead and put that date in so that I know when I'm following up with that person again. And I don't have to like go back through the sheet and find all these people, you know, like I go ahead and set in my sheet the date that I'm going to contact them next, even if it's a month or 2 or 3 or 4 out. If it's somebody that's pregnant and you know that they are not going to do anything until after they have that baby, I'll set it for 9 months out. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's the way it stays more organized for me. Is I have to have something.
And you see, I forget. Mm-hmm. I forget to invite those people again because I keep them in separate monthly sheets. I use your sheet, the step 5 sheet.
Yeah.
But I do like a January month, a February month, instead of keeping them all together, and then I lose them. I forget.
Or you could still do that monthly.
Do you have a reminder that?
Yeah, just be sure you go back to each previous month, you know, and you're not forgetting about those other people that you talked to 6 months ago, you know. And that's one thing I liked about the TeamZ website. I don't know if you ever used that. TeamZ.com. It's TEA.
Yeah, but it gets to
It's like $30 a month.
Yeah.
But the good thing about it is that it keeps you really organized because you can set a follow-up date and it will tell you on your TeamZ dashboard who you have to follow up with today. But here's the thing, you have to actually go in and check it every day. And that was my problem. I wouldn't go in and check it every day and I pop in and I had like 200 follow-ups. I'm like, oh my God. So, but it's a good resource.
Yeah. I had to cancel it because I got so overwhelmed.
Okay. I did too. I don't use it anymore either. But it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah. So say after your invite, they say they're interested. Okay. And so now it opens the door to truly start the conversation. So what I want you guys to think about, and this is where so many people go wrong, and I used to do the same thing. I think we all did. And it's just like second nature to start word vomiting Beachbody. And you're like, well, this is what it is. This is what it does. This is how much it is, blah, blah, blah. And again, people are like, oh my God, stop. That was way too much information. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm out. And they don't even think about it because they don't truly see the value. If you throw all this information at them, including a price, even if they ask, I do not tell them a price, not right off the bat. I don't do it because all they'll see is that price tag. And it's before you've talked about what are their goals? How is their nutrition now? How are they going to feel after they make these changes? Like, you've got to go through all these conversations to get them to see the value in what you're about to give them. So I start off and I say, you know, awesome. So tell me a little bit about what your overall goals are right now. That's it. Let them respond. If they don't respond in a couple of days, message them again. Hey, I know you're interested in this group. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. What kind of goals do you have right now so we can start figuring out what is right for you? You know, make it really personal. When they come back and tell you their goals, just kind of relate to it. You know, I mean, obviously everybody's going to be different. If somebody tells you, you know, their goals are just to lose 5 or 10 pounds, or their goals might be to lose 50 or 60 pounds, or to get their blood pressure or cholesterol in check or whatever, you know, just recognize their goals, listen to it, kind of repeat them to them. They need to know that you're really listening and paying attention to what they're saying, you know. Awesome goals. You know, you're going to feel so much better once you get, especially that blood pressure down, you know, and getting your nutrition in check is really going to help with that. Getting some exercise in every day is really going to help lower that blood pressure, you know, whatever it is for that particular person. Maybe their goals are just being able to have enough cardio stamina to run around the yard with their kids, you know. Make it personal. You know, I love that goal that's going to be, you know, you're going to feel so much better and you're going to be so much happier, you know, once you do have the endurance and a little bit more strength and stamina built up to run around and play with your kids. You know, you're going to feel so amazing, you know, something like that. And then I always ask them what their struggles have been in the past, you know. So you want them to explain to you what is so hard for them. And a lot of times it's going to be nutrition. I think that's the hardest thing for the vast majority of people. Time is always going to be an objection that people are going to have. They might mention money. If they do, honestly, don't even go there right now because that's not the part of the conversation that you're in. You've got to build the value before you ever talk money. And even if they say something about, you know, well, I don't have a lot of finances or asking you the cost or whatever, what I tell them is, yeah, we will get to that, but I need to learn more about you first so I can figure out what the best plan is for you. You know, you don't know if they might need, just as an example, only 3-day refresh or only Beachbody on demand. Or maybe they need the full, you know, all access pack or 80-day obsession pack or whatever. You don't know that until you've talked to the person, right? So think about that. Okay, so they come back and they tell you what their struggles are. You're obviously going to relate to those struggles and tell them how this is going to help overcome them. If it's time, we have workouts that are 10 minutes. 10-minute trainer, seriously. Anybody can do that. You know, you can do 3 of those during one 30-minute TV show. Like, anybody can do 10-minute trainer. You just have to battle each one of their objections just right off the bat, pretty much, when they tell you. And you tell them how you're solving that problem. If nutrition is a really hard thing for them, and they don't know how to eat. Perfect, because this program is going to teach you how to eat the correct amount of the right foods for your body and for your goals. That is what we are about, is teaching you how to eat this in this healthy way for life. No crash diets, no cutting all kinds of, no cutting carbs out of your life, no, all that kind of stuff. This is healthy eating that it's going to teach you how to do it for the long term. And that's how you're going to get success. If it's workouts, you relate to them. Yeah, I used to have a really hard time getting my workout too, or getting in the motivation or building up the motivation to go do that workout. But that's what I'm here for. I'll be here as your coach to help you stay motivated, to help you stay accountable. We have online success groups that you're going to be involved in, that you're going to be logging your activities every day, that's going to keep you accountable, and you're telling them, I'm here as your coach to help you with that and to check in with you all the time. So you're just kind of battling each one of those objections and telling them how this is going to solve that problem for them. Does all that make sense so far? Yeah. Okay. I don't want to talk about it all too fast, because for me, I'm I do it all the time. I've been doing it for so many years that it's easy now. But you'll get to that point where, it's okay, well, this is the next thing I need to ask them. And don't worry about if this whole conversation thing takes a week, that's okay. You need to learn about that person before you ever present this whole Beachbody On Demand challenge pack. You've got to learn about them and get them to build that trust in you. Because what a lot of salespeople, network marketing people, whatever, as soon as they see that somebody's interested and they're like, oh, well, this is what you need and it's $160, and then the person's like, okay, well, I'm just a sale to that person. They know nothing about me, and they need to have that relationship built first around whatever these goals are. So that is your most important thing, is really learning about the person, seeing how you can help them, and relating that to them. So after we talk about struggles, what their struggles are, I always try to ask them, and people sometimes won't answer this, but try to get them to talk about, you say something like, okay, well, tell me how you're going to feel. How is your life going to be different after you start reaching these goals? How are you going to feel different? How are you going to be different with your family? And get them to thinking really deep, why they want this. It might be for health reasons. Like I said, it might be for their kids. It might be for, there's so many different reasons for every particular person. So you really need to get them connected, emotionally, to how they're going to feel after they start reaching these goals. How are you going to feel differently when you've lost that 30 pounds that you want to lose? What is that going to do differently in your life? And it's going to be different for everybody, but you have to make them start thinking about that, because that's when they're invested and they see the value in what this is going to do for them. And then after you've kind of talked about all this stuff, other little questions that I'll ask them after they tell me their goals and stuff like that and their struggles, somewhere in there, I'll always ask them, so what kind of workouts do you tend to enjoy or have you liked in the past? And how much time per day do you have for a workout? And I ask them that usually kind of towards the end of the conversation, when you've learned a lot about them and in your head what they need, which is going to be the Beachbody On Demand challenge pack, right? Because it's just the best way to go. But you don't tell them that up front. And they'll come back with a couple of responses. Maybe they like dance workouts. Okay, so you're thinking in your head, we're going to do the on-demand, whatever the new name is going to be for it. I can't even remember what I told you guys the other day. The annual Beachbody On Demand challenge pack or whatever. But you're thinking in your head, but we're going to start you out with either country or size or UV2 or something fun like that, not 21-day fix that they're probably going to hate if they love to do dance workouts, And you need to relate it to their fitness level, how much time they have, all that kind of stuff. So once I've got all that information, I pretty much tell them, like, all right, so this is what we're going to do. And you say it just like that. Like, this is what we're doing. This is how we're setting you up. You don't give them options. You don't sound wishy-washy. You tell them exactly what they're going to do. And like Barb, especially for you, like in my mind, I think back to, how am I going to treat this patient? What am I going to tell this owner? You're going to tell the owner, this is what we're going to do for your pet. You know, because you're the one that knows, you're the doctor, you know, right. Not the client. And you kind of have to think about it in that mindset too. This is what we're going to do and why. If they have questions, they'll ask questions, you know, but don't lead them into questions by sounding, you know, just iffy about it all right off the bat. You've got to be firm and confident in what you're recommending, because it'll work. If they purchase it and if they actually do it, it'll work. You know, I mean, we all know that. So I tell them, I say, so this is how we're going to set you up. We're going to set you up with the annual on-demand challenge pack. And here's why. And I just very briefly go through, you know, you are going to have access to all of our workouts for a full year through our online streaming platform. So you can access them from anywhere, wherever you are. We will figure out exactly which workout for you to start with. Or maybe you might say, since you like dance workouts, we're going to start you out with Country Heat and go through that for a month and see how you're feeling. And then we'll figure out what we're going to move on to next. You know, but you tell them that real quick. And then you say, you need help with your nutrition. This solves that problem. You're going to have all of our nutrition plans that come with every single
container.
Yeah, you're going to have all of our nutrition plans. You're going to have portion control containers that are going to tell you exactly what and how much to eat for your body and your goals. And then, and Barb, I've got this in scripts too, already typed up. I can see you like scribbling, you know? I can see you like
Thanks for that little detail.
It's
kind of important to know.
Yeah. What'd you say, Barb?
It sinks in better if I write it.
Well, that's fine then. And you can always go back and rewatch this too. I'm recording it. So, but I'm like that too. I have to write. But don't feel like you have to get every little word. But then I'll also tell them, like number 3, and I usually list it out 1, 2, 3. I talk about the on-demand, the nutrition, Shakeology. I said number 3, you're going to get our whole health superfood shake that is 1 meal per day that you don't even have to think about. And it's going to, you know, boost your nutrition. Or I kind of try to relate it back to something that they need. Maybe they never eat breakfast. You know, this is your breakfast solution. Maybe they are always hungry for sweets at night, you know, so you tell them that. This is going to be your nighttime snack so that you're not sitting on the couch snacking on chips and brownies all night long. This is your solution to killing those sugar cravings, you know? You're really giving them that solution right there. And then number 4, I say, you know, and of course you've got all of my coaching, access to my online groups, you know, me talking to you one-on-one, all of that for as long as you want it. And then at the end, and I keep that fairly condensed, you know, I don't make it this massively long thing. Just kind of bullet point it, you know. And then at the end of that little message, I'll say, what do you love most about all of that? And I say it almost just like that every single time. What do you love most about all of that or about this? Instead of saying, well, gosh, I can't even think of what I used to say because I use that all the time now.
What do you think about it?
Yeah, instead of saying, what do you think about it, you know, or how's that sound?
That's my issue closing question.
Yeah,
how
because you want them to come back, and when you say, what do you love most about all this, they tell you what they really like about it. And it's very positive, right? And maybe they're like, oh my gosh, learning the nutrition is going to be so amazing. You know, that's what I love most. Or whatever it is. And you're like, you come back and you're like, yes, it's going to be perfect for you. What's your best email address? And just ask them, you know, just kind of go right into it then. What's your best email address? And usually I say, what's your best email address? And do you need non-dairy shakes for any reason? Or would you prefer non-dairy shakes or something like that? You know, because I don't want to give them regular Shakeology if they've got a, you know, lactose intolerance or whatever. So that's how I ask it. I say, you know, awesome, let's get you going. You're going to love it. What's your best email address? And do you need non-dairy shakes? And they'll come back and they say their email address, yes or no, as far as the dairy or non-dairy, you know, whatever they say. And then I have a couple images, and they're in Deltafire somewhere. I'll put them in there again when I load this recording, though. I've got them saved on my phone just as favorites so that I can very quickly, whoops, let me find them. So that I can very quickly pull it up. I have an image. Well, y'all can't really see that, but it's the vegan flavor options. And then I have one for regular. And so I tell them, once they tell me regular or, you know, non-dairy, I typically don't say vegan, because then people are like, well, I'm not vegan. I don't care. Do you need dairy or not? Like, that's all I really need to know. If you can tolerate dairy protein, you know? So that's the way that I phrase it that works better for me. So either way, whatever they say, I'm like, awesome, I'm sending you an image of the flavor options. Just let me know which one you want, and I'll get it all set up for you. And they come back and they're like, oh, I want to try the chocolate vanilla combo or whatever. Perfect. Now you've got their email address. You know which pack they're doing, because they're probably more than likely doing the annual Beachbody On Demand challenge pack. And you know their flavor. So you go and you set it up and share a cart. Bam. That's it. So that's how I do it. And I go
now. Let me ask one more question in there. Because I never had this issue until we moved here with the internet. So do you ever ask them about their internet connection? Because since I'm in here, I'm like, I know we cannot get Beachbody On Demand. I can't stream it.
I don't ask.
So where would you put that in there?
Well, when I'm talking about how they're going to get their workouts, I mention that it's all online streaming. And typically if somebody does not have good internet access, that's when they'll say something. So my solution.
They will say something. Okay. They never say something to me, so I always have to ask. Yeah,
I mean, typically, whenever I say that, because I specifically say it's our online streaming platform, and I've never had anybody that has had an issue that, like, hasn't said, well, my internet sucks, you know? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, think this.
I only had one that actually said.
And if that's the case, if they truly can't stream anything, I mean, for now anyway, we still have the DVD packs. So you would just have to figure out which program they're going to start with.
I hope it stays.
That challenge pack, yeah. The other thing that works for a lot of people, especially people like if they work somewhere in town, you know, that's got a better internet connection, I'll have them just download like the full week of workouts while they're at work with Wi-Fi. And then they're on their phone. So saved, you know. If it's like 21-day fix, you know, they can download them a week at a time. They could download all 21 workouts. So
can they download it like to a USB?
That's cool.
To a USB?
I was wondering if that's allowed.
I asked.
No.
I think it has to be on your device, like on your phone. Or iPad or something.
Yeah. Okay.
I asked it for the 80-day obsession or whatnot, and the guy said no, they can't do it because of the copyright.
Gotcha.
True. Yes, that makes sense.
That's what I would have done, but I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
There is no way.
That's true. Because I think the way it's set up now, even once they're downloaded on your phone, you still have to kind of log into your on-demand.
Oh, that's true.
So they have them download it as long as they have a membership. But like, say once, if their membership expired a year from now and they download it, like they don't still have those workouts. You know what I mean? They have to keep their membership up, which is a good thing, you know?
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, then I go into Share a Cart and I set it up. With Share a Cart, just to mention, it's amazing, first of all. And if you have somebody that, you know, also mentions just, for example, they have a ton of GI issues. Good example, Barb. No.
Barbo!
You can always say, I laughed so hard when she posted that earlier. I was like, I totally have said that before. You could also start talking about, you know, we have this other supplement called Digestive Health that might also really benefit you. You know, maybe they want to try that at the same time. You can throw it in their Share a Cart. Or maybe it's, you know, somebody that has like zero energy. So you might want to also talk to them about energized or focused energy or something else. And with Share a Cart, you can put all of that stuff in their cart, like right off the bat, instead of telling them, okay, well now you have to go back and go to the shop tab and go and look for this and then go and look for this. And that's how we used to have to do it before Share a Cart. It was horrible. So now we can set it all up for them and send them the link to their entire cart. But that's something to think about. You know, if you have somebody that you really think one of the additional products would benefit them, especially with beach bars coming out, you know, moms on the go, people at work. I mean, that pretty much covers like everybody in the world, right? People at work and moms on the go. Two massive groups of people.
Yeah.
You always need snack bars in your purse. Like,
they need to make veggie bars.
Ew. Sounds nasty.
That tastes good.
That actually tastes good.
Yeah.
We tried to get them to do Shakeology bars. But they came up with the beach bars, which I think are going to be really good.
I can't wait.
I think they're going to be really good. They are really good. I've had them. They're amazing.
You make them look drooly.
They are delicious. Like, they are as good as they look. I was shocked. I was like, whoa, these are really yummy. And I think they're a yellow and a red. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that's what I read. But, you know, you can always, like, throw a box of beach bars in their cart. I mean, not without telling them, of course, but if it's something you've talked about, you know. So my point was with Share a Cart, I always, like, when you get to the bottom of it, you've got everything set up, ready to send them. There's a little button and it says send email. And you click that and it sends them an email from Team Beachbody with a link inside it to their cart. They click the link and then finish the order. But after you hit that button that says send email, if you wait for your screen to refresh, you look down and it will also say copy link. So I hit the copy link button. I typically do everything in Facebook Messenger. It's just how most of my people are. I'll copy that link and I will send that link to them in Facebook Messenger or in text or in an email. Because what happens a lot of times, sometimes their spam settings or whatever, sometimes they won't ever get the email from Beachbody. So I always send them the link as well and just tell them, all right, we've got it all set up, ready to go. I'm going to include the link below. You're also going to get an email from Beachbody with the same link. But all you're going to do is click the link. It's going to take you right to your cart. You confirm everything, enter your payment info, you're good to go. And then I'm like, you know, let me know if you have any trouble at all. And that's it. And typically that process works very well for me as far as conversations. So I know that was a lot. So what are your questions?
Well, I'm getting some good ideas.
Yeah.
I have 2 people I need to talk to today.
Okay.
That's going to help a lot.
Just go slow. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is going slow and just learn about them. Learn about their goals, their struggles, how their nutrition is, what they need, that kind of thing. That's the most important part. And even if it doesn't end up in a sale right now, like I said, you're going to keep that person on your list. They're going to keep watching you. And when it's the right time, they'll jump in, you know? So, And I think in your case too, Barb, you're still so new at this from the coaching part of things, you know? I mean, you've been working on yourself for what, probably 6 months?
Since September.
Yeah. So
yeah, 6 months.
Yeah, about 6 months now. And you've come so far. Like, seriously, those pictures you put in our group the other day.
It surprised me.
It blew me away. Totally blew me away. I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
yeah.
Spit, sorry. To post that picture would be awesome.
Yeah.
Scary, I know, but awesome.
It is.
It shows how much you've been doing. And it shows that this is really working, you know? And
right.
And that's what you just have to kind of get out of your comfort zone and show.
And that 6 months included all those illnesses too. So I got to make sure and throw that in there.
Yeah, because there's a lot of time in there that you couldn't work out. There's a lot of time that you still ate really bad during those 6 months.
Yes.
You know, and you just have to be honest with people. I think when you're posting, I think that's a really big deal too, is just be yourself. Don't try to sound like me. Don't try to sound like Suzanne. Don't try to sound like Christina.
Right.
Like, just be yourself, you know, and tell people the fun, the successes, the struggles, like all of it. Not necessarily all in one massive post, but break it up. That's the stuff that you use to post meaningful posts multiple times a week, you know? So you could even like write out a list of 20 or 30 things that are different about you 6 months ago to now, and use that as little topics to post about, you know, like one every couple of days. And you're kind of sharing little bits and pieces of your story with people.
Right.
In small little snippets, not in one post that is 18 pages long, because nobody's going to read that. Unless they really, really, really love you. Your mom might. Maybe.
Maybe.
So
it's going to be like, that's too long.
Yeah, exactly.
I do have a question. So you said write out about foodie posts or whatnot topics. Mm-hmm. Do you ever repost them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or do you change words up on it?
Well, I mean, I'll change words a little bit.
Do you use it as it is?
Well, the same concept anyway. So maybe you have on your list, you know, talking about how much more energetic you are. And talk about how much more energetic you are multiple times. Don't say it the same exact way. So don't use the same post, the same picture, but the same topic or the same concept. Yeah, most definitely.
Because that's people in my notes section on my phone. I have that separate, but I'm like,
yeah, go back. I mean, go through that list. Heck, start at the top again, you know, and go back through it. Because, you know, depending on each individual day in your life, like, you're not going to come up with the same exact words that you said last time, you know? So, yeah, I would totally just keep going through and repost about stuff like that again. And part of what we'll talk about next real quick, we'll go through this real fast, but as you're adding new contacts on your social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever, you've got new people that are seeing your posts. So your post that you talked about, your energy levels a couple of weeks ago, a lot of people didn't see. You know, you've got new contacts that you're adding, and just with the way that all these crazy algorithms are, which I do not even begin to attempt to understand. But like, there's a small percentage of your friends, your actual friends and followers on Facebook, that actually see your stuff. So 90% of the people that you're friends with probably didn't see that post about your energy levels a month ago. So you got to post about it again.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
And same thing.
That's why I like the story, because you see people who are actually checking out your stories.
Yep. But
like,
even then,
those are the same people who.
Yeah. Even then, it's, you know, I can't remember what the statistic is, but it's like 7 or 10 exposures that people need to a particular product or idea or whatever before they ever even think about buying it, you know? So can't feel weird about following up with people or posting the same types of things. People need multiple exposures to ever even consider buying it. I mean, I guess you kind of relate it to how many times have you seen an infomercial or any commercial, you know, and after you've seen it 30 times, you're like, you know, that's actually kind of cool. But on the first time, you don't typically think that. So.
Yeah. Okay, now I won't stop you. No, you can go to the other one.
Good. Did you have any more questions, Barb? Or that
no, I'm good.
Okay. Alrighty. So these trackers, they're kind of cool because there's 3 of them. So you guys, I would say probably start with the walk tracker for now until you get good and consistent at that. But there's a walk, a run, a jog. And like I said, it's kind of based on your level of coaching and how much time you have and what your goals are. You know, if you're somebody that's like, I've used myself as an example. I was like, I have got to get out of veterinary medicine. It is literally sucking the life out of me and I'm going to die. And I was like, I'm putting all my effort into this. I don't care how much time it takes. Like, this is what I have to do. I probably would have started with this run tracker right off the bat and just hit it and run with it because that's how badly I need it out, you know? And it worked. But if you're somebody that's like, you know, my job's cool, I like it, I'd like some extra money on the side, or I just want to help some people on the side, start with a walk tracker, you know? Or if you're just kind of getting your feet wet, start with a walk one. Most people will start at the walking pace here. And the cool thing is that, let me see, I think all of the activities, let's see. Yeah, all the activities are really the same on all 3 of these. That doesn't change. It's just the level that you're doing them at, how many new contacts you're adding, how many new conversations you're having, how many invites you're doing per day. That's what changes on all these. So as you get good at it, it gets easier to just add more numbers to it, you know? But basically, the first one is actually super important. Read your vision and your purpose statement. If you haven't come up with what your why is, there's a really good book. It's called Find Your Why by Simon Sinek. It's amazing. To just come up with...
I just got it yesterday. Thanks for telling me.
Did you? It's really, really good. Just to really focus yourself on what it really is that you want to do with this. You know, it could be just your own health and fitness, but it could be helping a whole heck of a lot of other people in a lot of different ways. For me, it's more about helping inspire people to really know that they can take control of their life. They can have freedom in their life, you know, and helping them create that. Doing that in at least 15 minutes of personal development. It's really important. And I know I was totally one of those that thought PD or whatever, that's for the birds, that's so stupid. I don't need all this self-help BS, you know. That was my attitude toward it. It honestly was, until I started reading it and I learned what it was truly about. You know, I thought, oh, it's for people that are going through all these crazy, you know, dramatic struggles, and that's not the point, you know. It's about feeding your mind and learning things that you need to learn about, like to grow yourself. Okay, committing to your Shakeology, your program, your nutrition. We're obviously all doing that. That should be a really easy one to check off every day. Actually, both of those should be. Okay, the next one is 2 new finds. So finding new people and connecting with them. I think we should all really be doing this on both Facebook and Instagram. It's super duper easy. So for Facebook.
Okay, so this is where my question was, that very first question. Finding the people I used to see. I was not on Facebook. If I was on Facebook, I didn't comment or didn't like or anything like that. Very close. And I'm sorry if I'm yelling since my earbuds.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
You know, and not an outgoing, not a, how to put this? I was the person who said people. Who needs people?
I totally get that. Yeah.
I was that. I was totally that. I'm like, I come in here, I do my job, leave me alone. I want to go home, turn the TV on, and don't talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was that. And you know, when I talk to people who I think that might be like I was, they never get back to me. So I'm like, dude.
So maybe you don't need to only focus on people that were like that, you know, like that drastically, because kind of like you're saying, I think if that's the only type of person that you focus on that is not going to respond to a message or not going to talk at all, you're not going to get anywhere, more than likely. I think you need like a middle,
right.
You know,
I'm sitting in the same spot right now,
right?
Like last year,
right. You need a middle ground of people that are moms, that are, you know, maybe not super outgoing and super, you know, social butterfly people, but they're moms. They've got some interests that are similar to you. And I think Instagram would be a really good place for you to be able to find those people, you know, searching through hashtags, you know, boy mom, or, you know, whatever your hashtags are that relate to your interests now,
right,
is what I would do. And then still in your posts, I think you talk about how you used to feel versus how you feel now. But maybe don't just target people that were like super introverted to themselves. Yeah. Because that's obviously not really working. So you got to change that up a little.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. And
it's
what
not,
I do,
not really. It doesn't at all.
What I do is on Facebook, I'll go to, you know, they suggest friends for you. Just go to that list.
Yeah.
But I don't just randomly click on them. I go to their profile real quick, look, and make sure they're not like some It Works or Herbalife distributor person. You know, make sure there's somebody that actually has engaging stuff on their page, and they don't just like share things from everybody else's page and you have nothing to talk to them about, right? It needs to be somebody that you feel like I could send them a quick message and say hi, you know, and then send them a friend request. And then on Instagram, use the hashtags. Go to toddler mom, you know, and click on somebody's profile that you're like, oh, well, she looks interesting, or her page looks interesting. I could follow along with this and follow her, you know. That's really it. Or for Facebook too, you can, and Instagram, or you can go to other friends' pages of yours and look through their friends list or look through their followers for people that you have a bunch of mutual friends with, and friend those people as well. Did you have a lot of mutual friends in common? Because more than likely you kind of know each other sort of from somewhere, you know, or if you don't, you could at least start a conversation about, you know, your past or whatever. You have a bunch of mutual friends. So that's what I'll do. And then the next one is connecting with people. And that's just, you know, after they accept their friend request or they follow you back or whatever, just sending them a quick message and saying hi and relating to them, like relating to something on their page. Or maybe it's somebody that you just haven't talked to in a long time. You look through your friends list and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to Suzanne for 2 years. Like, let's pop over to her page and see what the heck's going on with her, you know, and send her a message. And then 2 invites to your accountability group or your monthly challenge. And this is where you always need to be inviting to free groups that we have. We usually have 1 a month. Challenge groups that we have, we're always adding new people into our challenge groups. I kind of gotten to where I'm not even doing it on a specific date anymore, the way that we're kind of running them now all in the same big groups. And it's almost easier like that, not having a set date, to me anyway. Because you could always be inviting to that, right? Let's see, follow-ups.
So is that, Kim, is that a throughout the whole month, or what you mean you don't have a set date now?
Well,
is it just open?
Yeah, it's just kind of open. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've just kind of got content rolling, and we're not necessarily starting a new challenge at a specific date, but it's like they're just always open and we're always adding new people in. And it's been working pretty well.
Okay, do you because I'm obviously not in it, do you have like a tagged, not a tagged, what is it called? A pinned post in there for newcomers?
Mm-hmm.
What they need to be doing? Oh, okay.
Yep. I'm going to add you to it.
Cool. Okay.
I'll add you to it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's been going really well. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then 2 follow-ups a day. Obviously following up with people that have either not responded, had questions, just didn't really get back to you, kind of lingering. 2 posts per day. And I would be sure you're at least doing 2 a day on Facebook. And on Instagram, I would do like 1 to 2 per day on your main page, and then focus on your Instagram stories. You know, and I think the recommendation is 8 to 10 on your stories. And those are super quick little clips, little picture. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be pretty. You know, it's real life on Instagram stories. And that's what that Instagram training will help with. 2 gratitudes per day. This can be, I think some of it should be publicly on your page, and then some like in the challenge groups too. You know, maybe somebody just really inspired you that week, you know, and they might not even be your customer, and that's cool. Give them a shout out, you know. It just makes everybody feel better. And then the next one's Insta story.
Now, do you keep that to fitness and health, or customers, or friend, or what?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't
anything.
Have to be related.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
That could be anything. And then the rest is just team stuff, adding value, you know, your accountability groups, checking the team pages for updates, checking the online office, you know, that kind of just business stuff at the end. So that's easy. And that's really it. And I will say, as far as the inviting and the follow-ups, a lot of times it takes like a week or 2 to go through this on a daily basis and get new contacts and get those conversations started before you get to a point where you can really invite people. You know, you've got to have some people that you've been talking to before jumping right into invites, or else it's just weird. So that's something that it might take a week or 2 to build up to as far as this particular sheet. So that all makes sense?
Yes.
That helpful?
Mm-hmm.
Very.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Now I want to go use it.
Well, go use it. Perfect. Are you off all day today?
I am.
All weekend, I guess?
Yes, unless I get called in, but I won't because we're closed.
Yay. Well, good.
Bye.
We'll go put it to use.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Ask me any questions. I'll go ahead and stop the recording.